To this live art request show or tutorial where you write in and you let me know what you want me to draw. So today we're focusing on Game of Thrones, and we are going to draw the beautiful Daenerys Targaryen, and I'm going to teach you how to, in this tutorial, just simply coloring in, but I'm going to show you light and shade and drama, and it's going to be super fun. So just let's get our layers. And if you're wondering what app I'm using, it's called Procreate, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's allowing me to show you how to color in with chalk, and obviously we can do lots of different pencils, watercolor. So I've chosen crayons and charcoal today, just for those who haven't got fancy materials in your small apartment, or can't go outside because of lockdown. So let's just keep it simple, but you're going to learn some really fun techniques. So here I'm just coloring in the light areas where she's got the sun reflecting off her left shoulder, and I'm not coloring in anywhere where there's shadow. So we've got a little bit of shadow under her eyes because she's obviously had a tough day. She's burnt everyone with her dragon, and she's very tired of all this fighting. So we're just going to leave those sort of grey areas grey, and then I'm going to add some more colours in places so that you get an idea of how we can actually put light in shade. So for starters, let's just do this, and I'm going to put some light here also on her. Hello, Bob. He's a big fan. Thank you, Bob, Game of Thrones fan. Please send in any requests of anyone you want me to draw. I'd be more than happy to do that and give you a tutorial at the same time. So here we go. I'm adding a little bit of almost a purple blue color, just so we get some variety. I'm avoiding white and I'm avoiding black. So I'm just going to draw in some color into her cheeks. There we go. And you could do this at home if you've got a blackboard. You can add color, and then you've got the beauty of you can rub it out if it's not working. You can even put this on, if you've got a driveway, you can draw with chalks. If you don't have chalks, apparently you can make your own chalks through, I'm just going to draw this color just to give her some warmth. You can make chalks with flour, water and food coloring, and I think you have to add something else. You can always Google it, and you put it in a loo roll, the cardboard, and that will make you homemade chalks. So, and this is actually how, when I was a kid, this is how I used to draw. I used to draw all over the neighbor's driveway, and they used to get very annoyed. So lots and lots of color. So can you see that it's not just grey in the shadow? I'm just going to add more sort of dapples of color. So she's now starting to come to life, and I'm going to also do the dragon for you while I wait for requests. So now those grey areas have really started to make sense. They're part of the character. I'm just going to draw her eyes a little bit. I will cheat and put a little bit of white in her eyes, but again, don't press down too hard because it will stand out too much, and I must give her some color in her lips. So her goal in life is to get to the throne and reclaim her throne Oh, yes, Bob, I would love to draw Drogo. We're going to draw Drogo next. Thank you for your request. I'm just going to put in the eyes, and then, of course, the amazing white hair. And then we'll draw Drogo. And this is where I will use white. And that's really why I've not used it anywhere else. So this is kind of a negative style of drawing where I only touch the paper with my crayons or my pastels in the areas that are light. Okay, so I leave everything that's dark, I don't touch it. And now you can see the drama is starting to happen. Okay, so she's just got a little bit, and it's so subtle, it's just subtle touches. You can also add paint, if you've got acrylic paint, to any white paper that you have, and that will allow you to, let me make sure that's the right color, yeah, it's dark brown I wanted. That will allow you to have a dark background, and then you can add only the light. It makes it a lot easier. So if you can paint any paper that you've got at home that is white, because you don't have any dark paper at home, then let it dry, and then you can have a go doing charcoal drawing over the top, and it will look fabulous. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading here. Now let's have fun with the dragon, because I love the dragon, and I'm just going to put it in the background. So let's, even now when I look, I can see there's a little bit of color even in the shadows and the highlights of the hair. So I'm just going to add just a bit of warmth there. Okay, so now we're going to do the dragon, and I'm going to do him under here, and I'm going to use this awesome color. Now I did do the dragon last time for you, and so I'm going to do the same idea, and let's get these spikes from the dragon, and he's got his sharp teeth. He's not a very friendly dragon, and they are the most incredible creatures. I think that's why we keep going back to them in fantasy fiction, because we all deep down want a pet dragon. Okay, so I'm just going to color this in again and add some dramatic clouds in the background. And the dark background is allowing me to create the drama because I'm adding highlights. So you'll see that in a minute. Right. So like her jacket, I'm just colouring everything in. We'll add a bit of highlights to her jacket as well in a minute. And then of course I've got Drogo that I have to draw for you, which I can't wait to have a go. Right, we're going to use the bright yellow again, where the heat's coming out, and then there we go. Just gonna get that going, and then the white heat there again, and then we're going to add the red. Fade that a bit. It's a bit too. Alright. So now we've got the dragon's flames, and I'm going to do some highlights over the top of the dragon. Just go back to pencil and a warmer color here, because this is where. And if you're a Procreate fan, you know I can block this whole area out, and then I can go over the edges, and it does all the work for me, where it cancels it out so I don't get into a mess. Okay, so we do want the dragon's eyes. Can you see how I'm putting the highlights in? And this is all catching the light as well. We love this drama of catching light. And I'm going to do a little bit more spikes because the dragon has lots of nasty spikes all over him. There's one big one, I think, here. Catching the light, the flames. So the beautiful actress Emily Clark was apparently very ill, seriously ill, through the filming of Game of Thrones. So it's very sad how she suffered, but just amazing how she soldiered on as well. And she's in her early 30s, she's very young, so she would have been super young when she was playing the role. And what a responsibility. I'm going to go for a darker color now, just to get the eyes in here. I'll show you for the alpha lock. This is for anyone who's in knows how to use Apple. You use that button and it blocks the area that you want to color. It makes life very easy. It makes us artists look super talented and professional. Okay, so I think we're getting the idea of drama and light and working in a negative. Now, I'll just finish that off and make it a little bit darker down here because I'm a perfectionist. And I do want to put a highlight for the dragon's eyes just to make him come alive. That's it. Make those teeth look a bit more menacing. Alright, and as I'm such a fuss pot, I'm just going to add some light in here because that would be lit up by the dragon's fire. Okay, so now we are going to do the background. I'm just going to add that all the way here, and we're going to use a big airbrush, and we're going to create drama with this big brush. So we leave her exposed so that everything else sort of focuses on her. So I'm not drawing the black behind her as much. So how does that look? It's very dramatic. So remember, it was just a line drawing, and now we have this incredibly powerful image, and we're using simple colors, simple lines, but always emphasizing on the highlights. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. I'm just going to delete all this. I'm going to keep Drogo's background, and here we go. So I'm going to keep this background because we've done it now, and I'm going to draw Drogo for you. So let's get a black pen, and we're going to obviously try to keep those amazing muscles. So let me just make that a bit bigger. There we go. Just make sure I'm in the right area. Okay, so he's not a very nice man. And he's extremely aggressive and muscly. So we've got to kind of remember that as we're drawing him. So what I often do when I'm drawing is I kind of feel the character while I'm drawing. So first of all, he probably gets up in the morning and does his eyeliner, and he doesn't do a very good job of it. Just gets a little bit too carried away. So now we've got those devil's eyes. So the actor has also played Aquaman, as you all know, and he was in a great movie where he's trying to save his kid in Canada. Can't remember what it was. I think it was called Frontier, but I do like all his movies. Okay, I think we're getting that sort of mischievous, angry look. Okay, and I must draw that amazing costume. And of course those awesome swords. Trying to remember how they go. Let me have a think. Of course, if you're a baddie, you do have to have a double ponytail on your beard. There we go. Right, so I'm going to put his ears on. I will add colour in a minute. We're just going to give him some more height. When you're drawing, don't be afraid to make adjustments. You're not going to get it perfect every time. Just give him a bit more eyeliner. Okay, and you can exaggerate when you're drawing. So I'm actually going to make his neck a bit wider, almost like he hasn't got a neck. There you go. And now he doesn't look very friendly with all those muscles. And then these wonderful, again, he's taken his eyeliner. He's got a bit carried away. Very important, these markings. I think they mean something like, stay away, or I'll chop your head off. So we've got that, and you'll see I'll add colour in a minute. Just going to shrink it down a bit so that I can get those awesome swords. Okay. Now, being an artist, you need to know a little bit about anatomy. And so I'm just going to show you how you draw, there you go, muscles. So there we go. And it's funny because his costume, I remember it has a sort of he has this sort of very high belt, almost a girdle. I think there's some kind of strapping there or something, but yeah. So I'm going to colour this all in a minute, and then I think he's got these, he's got to have wristbands. So this will all get coloured in, and I'll thicken that out later, because he doesn't have thin wrists. Okay, and now hands are an interesting one. Everyone panics. I get them wrong all the time. I know that I want this sword, so the trick is to draw the sword first, and then I think it goes like that, something like that, and it will help you decide on what angle the hands should be in. Okay, I'm just going to bend that round because I'm a perfectionist. Don't actually know how effective these swords are. I'm just going to do this more down a bit. Right, so I now know that his thumb has to come there, which means that his fingers would have to come like that. And that is basically how you draw hands. I hope that takes the fear away. hope I made that look super easy. And just remember, he's going to have big fat fingers because he's very muscly. So he's going to have muscly hands as well. Okay. So the best fun of drawing is colouring in. So we're going to do that next. And I'm going to, with this app that I'm very lucky that I have, I can put the drawing underneath, the colouring underneath the line drawing, which makes me look like I'm really good with not going over the lines, but I'm actually drawing underneath the lines. If you are colouring in, if you are copying me and you're having a go, which is great, I just want everyone to just start drawing. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Don't throw it away. I always say that. It's important that you give yourself time, because drawing is quite an emotional experience, and you're like, I'd rather be doing something else, or it terrifies me, but you know, everybody wants to draw. It's part of who we are, leaving a mark. That's really what it is. And so be brave, get the colouring in, get drawing, just get started. And I'm obviously here to hold your hand. And if you're very proud of your work, send it to @quicktodraw.co.uk, because we'd love to see your work, and we'll put it on our Instagram gallery. And it's all about sharing your art, sharing your designs, your ideas. Right, so we know we've got his body is coloured, and I'm now going to do this alpha lock that I was telling you about, and I'm going to show you a little trick. So I've got a darker colour, and I'm going to do some shading in, which is going to add some drama to this. And because I've blocked it, I can literally, because you see my hands going over, and it's not taking the mark outside of that pink area that I just drew. So I'm just doing that chest, bit of hair there. I love comic strips and all these action heroes and all their muscles. I think that's where I learnt my anatomy. So if you really want to draw, go to comic strips. They're a great place to start. Okay, now I'm going to do a bit lighter. Let me see, is this a lighter color? Yep. So we're just going to, I'll put some highlights in as well. So can you see it's sort of giving this more shape. So the actor is from Hawaii, but he's Maori, and apparently when he did his audition for Drogo, he did the haka, which is just incredibly clever, because that would scare anybody. There we go. Alright. A bit more highlights. Here we go. And then I'm just going to colour in some of that dark brown, almost black. Sorry, I'll turn off the alpha. Almost black colour, which I will do in a minute. And then we put some more highlights. But we're pretty much there. And tomorrow, same time or thereabouts, we will be drawing Lord of the Rings. So I hope there's some Lord of the Ring fans. See how I'm highlighting just a a little bit here. There we go. And I'm just going to make it a bit darker as well. I think I'm going to put some on this side. So I'm always keeping in mind the story, which I always say to people, you've got to say where the light's coming from, and you've got to stick to that so it works. There we go. And that's it. Just wondering if we need some more drama, but I think that's about as rough and angry a person you can get. So thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.